Hello, everyone, and welcome to another power bombing edition of
Oh,
I Don't Know Shit: The Life and Times of Sycho Sid. Glenn is ready. He is so ready that he just sighed. I'm your host, Brent Piles, and of course, with me, as always, is my co-host, G.A. Russell, Glenn Abbott. Glenn, how are you doing?
I'm okay, thank you. I went out. The sun was shining. It was nice and hot. I went out. The skies darkened and the rain came down, and I got wet.
Well, I mean, at least I probably cooled it off a little bit, though.
No, it has. It just made it more, humid,
More unbearable.
more unbearable than it was.
Well, what he needs.
So, my apologies for the listeners if they hear kids screaming in the background because I've got my window wide open still. I couldn't sit here roasting with it tonight as well.
That's okay. Kids' joy brings you anger, then you probably need to do something with your life. This is going to be a little bit of a different edition of the Life and Times of Sycho Sid. Usually we watch him beat people up and we're out of here within 15 minutes. But this time we are going to review the entire pay-per-view that he is on, which is Survivor Series 1996. Because as you know, we are also doing this thing where we review one pay-per-view a month. My choice this month was Survivor Series 1996. Glenn will get to pick next month. So we figured we do this. But we and Glenn talked before we just got on here. We agreed that I did make a clip, highlight reel of the Shawn Michaels Sid match, and me and Glenn both agreed that we should watch that and talk about that first, and then after that we will review the rest of the show. That way, any people who just showed up and just want to watch the Sid stuff can do that, and then maybe go and listen to the rest of the review at a later date. So, Glenn, are you ready to talk about what was the main event of the evening?
I'm very ready. I am willing and able.
You're ready, willing, and able.
I am.
Not able.
All three of them.
You're all three of them. Yeah. So I made some clips, but I will say that this is probably the best match in Sid's career, at least from everything that I've ever viewed. I don't know how you feel about that.
Oh, definitely. The storytelling, everything was spot on with it.
Yeah, and even the crowd, like the crowd completely turned on Shawn Michaels, and they were 100% behind Sid. So,
They've been for a few weeks, haven't they?
I mean, I just don't. No matter what they do with Sid, they're going to cheer him, as you're going to see, as we're fixing to find out as we watch this video. So, without further ado, Glenn, let's see what happened when Sid battled Shawn Michaels for the WWF Championship in the main event of SummerSlam. There he is. It's the man. Let me pull it up here, and boom, here we go. Here we go. He is on his way through the hallowed halls of Madison Square Garden. How much would you love to be on one of the receiving end of one of those fist bumps, Glenn?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Put your hand out to the screen, going, let's fist bump him. I also like the corny 1996 fireworks here.
Yep.
Where it just spells Sid.
And I tell you what, for all the cock ups that he does, it was nice having Vince back on commentary.
I mean, I guess for like a nostalgia effect, it really is something. Yeah, that I can agree with. Definitely. All right, so here we go. Sid, of course, using his superior size and strength to manhandle Shawn Michaels.
So he should.
As he should be doing.
The stiff punch to the stomach there.
I will say Shawn Michaels did have an uncanny ability, being a smaller guy, being able to look like he could go toe-to-toe with big guys.
Yeah. That's because he could take a lot of punishment too.
That's probably what it was. Yeah, it's a good point.
It's a bit like Seth Rollins. He doesn't look that big, but take a licking and keep on ticking, as they say.
Yeah, it's a great point. It's pretty good. Pretty good analogy there.
Ooh.
Of course, if Michaels is, of course, going to work on Sid's knees any chance he gets through this thing.
Of course, it's that thing of bringing the big man down.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to fight him, that's the first place I'd go.
Can't power bomb you if he's laying on the floor.
That's right. Or choke slam you, kick you in the face, or punch you really hard.
You mean like he's doing now? Yes.
Like he's doing right now,
Mhm.
the blows he's laying in right now. If you've never seen this match, I will encourage you to go out and watch it because it is a very, very good match when you watch it in its
Mhm.
entirety. We're watching just some clips here, but and even from the clips, you can tell that it's a decent match.
Oh yeah, and it's far too good a match for the comic relief that we want.
Right, that's not what we're looking for. Oh, Michaels with a kip up, but then he
Oh,
gets
I
a
think
giant clothesline.
close by for his trouble.
So here comes a moment of truth. Now I know Sid. People are going to judge Sid here, but I think this cameraman was hurt, and so Sid said, "Okay, sir, let me hold your camera for you." And then watch Jose Lothario's like, "No, please, I'll take the camera." And Sid's like, "Okay, fine, I'll give it to you then." But watch, as Sid goes over to get him, he trips on the headset and he slips and he slams. It's on that. It's a complete accident. Watch, he clearly slipped.
Yeah, that was definitely a slip.
He did not mean to hit Jose Lothario. He was trying to hand the camera to him as Jose had asked him. It was a total accident.
Get some sweet chimneys. I love the way the referee is looking at the camera as though, what's that doing there?
But I think the referee also knows that Sid was just trying to help here, and it was all just one big misunderstanding.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
I mean, because Sid would never intentionally hit an old man with a camera in the chest.
No,
not Sid. He wouldn't do something like that. He's not that type of guy. He's not. What do you think he is, Psycho?
Hey, this is what I said to you earlier on. Shawn Michaels pin Sid and then worry about Lothario rather than worry about him. Take your eye off Sid, which is always a mistake.
Yeah. You can't take your eye off the prize, Sean. It was an accident anyway. If it wasn't for that headset slip, it's really the cameraman's fault.
It is. It is. He shouldn't have been giving it to him in the first place.
Exactly. Oh,
no. Nice ref bump.
Hebner's gone. Michaels is saying, "To hell with this. I got to check on Jose." Sid's like, "Well, hold on, wait. It's all just a misunderstanding." And then Sid is just going to go over here and try to explain to Shawn what happened. He's like, "Look, it was an accident. I picked it up to give it to him, and I slipped like this."
That's what happened.
It's just like that. That's exactly how it was. Sid's just trying to explain himself here, and then while he's here, he's like, "Oh wait, I forgot. This is a championship match. I better win."
Yeah, I better powerbomb him now then.
Which I don't think that makes Sid a bad guy. I think that makes him a genius.
No, certainly does.
1, 2, 3.
3.
Much deserved.
Oh,
finally, Glenn. He is the world champion.
Hey!
Should have won it from Hogan at WrestleMania 8, but he got it right here at Survivor Series 1996. After doing a good deed and trying to help an injured cameraman. What a guy.
Certainly is.
What a man, Sid. Look at that. Woo! Yeah. I'm happy. I don't know about you, Glenn.
I'm very happy.
We've been waiting for this day since episode 1,
That's
Glenn.
justice. Yeah, that is justice.
Finally, Sid gets what he deserves, and he is the WWF champion. Shawn Michaels, again, just doesn't understand the situation of what's happened. Very upset, but it was all just one big misunderstanding, I think.
Yep. I agree entirely. A worthy champion.
Absolutely. I would totally agree with that. So there you have it. Sid is the world champion, and that was the main event. Is there anything else about the main event that you wanted to talk about?
No. I think we covered it all there.
I think we did.
That was a nice little package there to cover it all.
But yes, sometimes you need a good package to go ahead and cover it all. But good news is, Glenn, I do have a pre-match promo from Sid that we will now check out before we head into our review of the whole pay-per-view of Survivor Series 1996.
Yeah.
So here we go.
You have stated that your destiny awaits you tonight in Madison Square Garden, but I think the real question is, will tonight be the night that you finally snap? Shawn Michaels has already stated that he will do anything and everything to leave Madison Square Garden still World Wrestling Federation champion.
See, Doc, you say snap, I say survive. Yeah, tonight I will do anything and everything it takes. For tonight, I know I am the better man. And I will do anything and everything it takes. For I will walk out tonight the World Wrestling Federation champion.
No lies told.
No. And it proves, and that definitely proves that Shawn Michaels has only got himself to blame for losing that.
That's right. Nobody else to blame.
No.
The only person that Shawn Michaels, and maybe that cameraman for not wearing the proper shoes and getting a sprained ankle. If we're blaming someone, or pointing the finger. All right, so it's Survivor Series 1996. It took place from Madison Square Garden in New York, New York. I will not give you the history of Madison Square Garden because if you're a wrestling fan, you already know it. We always talk about like the good video packages that they were doing always, but even more so in this area. But I didn't really enjoy the opening one for this one as much. I thought it was a little bit of a miss.
No, I don't either. And I didn't even make a note of it.
That's how good it was.
Yeah.
And then we get right into it, Glenn. The very first match is a 4-on-4 traditional Survivor Series match.
What the hell was this about?
Owen Hart and the British Bulldog, who are the current tag team champions, they're teaming with the New Rockers, who are Marty Jannetty and Leif Cassidy, or Al Snow, as you may know him. And they are going to be battling Doug Furnas, Phil LaFon, and the Godwins.
Because they haven't got any other tag teams at this time.
Apparently, this was like Doug Furnas and Phil LaFon's like debut match.
That doesn't surprise me because we know going into 97 how short on tag teams they were.
Mm-hmm.
So at this time, they had to bring somebody in.
Yeah, I guess they had to do something. I literally wrote, these teams make absolutely no sense.
No sense.
This was like Battle Bowl with 4-on-4 matches instead of tag team matches.
It was.
Because I literally, because I remember Doug Furnas and Phil LaFon being on this show because I've seen it a couple of times and I watched it when I was a kid. But I literally thought that they had teamed with Owen Hart and Bulldog, but I think they teamed with Bulldog and Neidhart in 97 Survivor Series is what I might be thinking of. So when I saw the New Rockers come out with them, I'm like, what in the fuck? Why?
Because they wanted to turn them heel.
Were they always heels?
I don't think so. I don't think they were meant to have been in the first place. But once Leif Cassidy grew that little goatee and started sneering all the time.
Yeah.
To show that they're turned.
Yeah, so very strange tag teams. I did enjoy Bulldog and Owen were really getting the fans in the front row riled up before the match.
Oh, yeah.
They had the guys going.
They were great. They were great at that at this time.
Especially, it's not hard to get a bunch of New Yorkers riled up. You just tell them they suck or they met suck, and then there you go. They're mad. Pretty simple. My first takeaway from this was that Marty Jannetty was working on one goddamn foot out there because it looked like he couldn't put any weight on his right ankle.
No. And then they go and have him get out wrestled by Phil LaFon, I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that's it. Yeah.
Which, if you've got an injured man and it's a 4-on-4, don't start with the injured man.
Well, I think it was the first one out too, so I guess they got him out pretty quick. Or he was the first one out.
Yeah, he's the first one out. Yeah.
At one point, like Henry Godwin tried to like throw him into the ropes, and he literally just like crumbled.
Yeah, he just couldn't hold his weight on his foot.
Yeah, I mean, I think he still has the same ankle problems in 2024 that he had then because I remember hearing about his ankle shape. Then. So it was bad even then. So that was my biggest note from this. And then the beautiful missile drop kick that Owen hit on Doug Furnas from the top rope. It was a thing of beauty.
Yeah.
But I don't know. A lot of randomness, a random bunch of tag teams, and yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of trash talking, not a lot of action. That was my other take from this first match.
Yeah, I guess a big surprise is that Doug Furnace and Phil LaFawn are the winners. They're the sole survivor. They end up pinning Owen after a belly to belly suplex.
And they never ever got a title match for it.
Yeah, no, I thought you were gonna say, and their careers never ever got any better in the WWE.
Well, that's it.
career.
No, it didn't, did they?
No, it didn't. No, they really didn't do a whole lot. They really didn't. So that was the first match. The second match is Mankind versus The Undertaker. We first see Paul Bearer and Mankind down in the boiler room. And if The Undertaker wins this match, he is going to get 5 minutes alone with Paul Bearer, apparently. I enjoyed the Mankind promo. I didn't really put any notes down besides him talking about you're as friendly to me as the cockroaches that I used to eat for breakfast or something like that. That was
that was about it.
Yeah, so that was good.
He promised to stomp Undertaker like the cockroaches in the MSG.
That's what it was. Yeah. So yeah, this is kind of like the forgotten match of the matches between these guys in 1990.
You can understand why the Undertaker wants it forgotten. That's probably the quickest entrance he's ever done, and the weirdest. Swooping in like a giant bat.
Yeah, like the Batman or some shit.
Yeah.
I guess they were trying to do something different because the last time we saw him was when he was buried alive, I guess.
That's right. And he's ditched the mortician's outfit for this kinky leather number.
What do you think his safe word is?
Rest in peace.
Yeah, that'd be hard to get all that out.
Yeah.
Isn't a real leather get up. He looked like a pirate.
Yeah.
Yeah. All I knew was an eye patch.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I loved in this match that Taker tried to take Mankind's mandible claw hand out of the equation by beating the shit out of it.
He was really working that fucking hand over for sure. They do have Paul Bearer hung in the middle of the ring in a shark cage during this entire match too.
Oh, of course, yeah. Oh, that was the other thing with the entrance. Is Paul Bearer saying, "I'm not getting in that cage. I'm not going in that cage." Taker comes to the ring. In he goes.
Yeah, he's in the cage. Yeah, that didn't last very long. Yeah, because these guys had three other pay-per-view matches this year. I think they wrestled like King of the Ring, SummerSlam, Buried Alive, and this one.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was physical at times, but I guess it did have spots where it got a bit boring.
Yeah, it was a little slow, but it wasn't too bad.
It wasn't. Yeah, I mean, it's Undertaker versus Mankind, so it was never going to be bad. It's just if you look at the body of work that these guys have done, this is absolutely going to be a forgettable match.
Yeah,
you know,
I love the point where Mankind clotheslines the Undertaker, realizes he's made a mistake, dives over the barrier, and runs into the crowd.
Well,
I thought that was quite funny.
You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Yeah, the Undertaker eventually does get the win when he hits the tombstone on Mankind. He's supposed to then get his time with Paul Bearer, but then the Executioner makes an appearance.
Because he's well known for these feuds with the Undertaker.
So I'm pretty sure that he debuted at Buried Alive. Or he came back at Buried Alive and helped them bury the Undertaker alive. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure he has a match at the December In Your House, which is I think called It's Time. And it's like an Armageddon match, Armageddon rules match, which don't ask me what the fuck that means because I don't know. And it's the Undertaker versus the Executioner. And if you guys don't know, the Executioner is Terry Bam Bam Gordy.
At our next pay-per-view, we might find out what it is. Who knows?
No.
Who knows?
Who knows? Stay tuned. Glenn gets to pick, so you never know what Glenn might choose. But yeah, so Executioner shows up and he kind of beats up on the Undertaker. Taker eventually fights him off, but they do get Paul Bearer out of there before the Undertaker can get his hands on him. So really, we don't get the payoff because that's what we came for was the Undertaker beating up Paul Bearer. We didn't get it.
I love the fact that the Executioner did a very good job of timing his run-in, because the Undertaker had already tombstone Mankind and was about to pin him, and then in comes Executioner. So the Undertaker wins by disqualification rather than.
Did he?
Yeah.
I thought he pinned him, and then I thought Undertaker's like waiting outside the cage as it came down, and then Executioner showed up. But I mean, I get high a lot, so could have missed it.
It says here that the Executioner runs in for the immediate DQ.
Okay.
And Taker chases all the heels off.
Okay. Maybe I've forgotten lots of things, so that totally could be the case. So I mean, a decent match. After the abomination that you could call the first match, Sunny then makes her way down to join the commentary team, and we get a promo from Hunter Hearst Helmsley's team. I guess we find out that Mark Henry will not be able to be on the Mark Marrow's team, as they will face Goldust, Hunter, Crush, and the King, Jerry Lawler. Heel team comes to the ring first, and then Mark Marrow comes to the babyface team. He's got the Stalker. And the debut of one Rocky Maivia. Glenn, you ever heard of this guy?
The name sounds familiar.
Yeah, I've heard Maivia before, but I don't know about Rocky Maivia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see if that.
I'm sure he must do something with his career.
Maybe. I guess we'll find out if that kid does anything one day. Miro gets on the mic and says, "Honey, you don't think I'm dumb enough to come out here with just 3 guys?" And then they bring up their 4th member, Jake Roberts, who is paler than Sheamus. And way more out of shape.
He didn't look like he was prepared to wrestle, did he?
No, it looked like. I want to say at this time, this is when Mark Henry broke his ankle or broke his leg, like training or something like that. Because I don't think we see him until we just recently saw him come back. You know what I mean? Like I don't think we see him until then.
No,
I'm talking about like on our '98 review show when he just recently came back.
Yeah.
But I also could have my timelines very wrong. Boy, they love to give Barry Windham shit gimmicks, don't they?
They really do, don't they?
The fucking Stalker.
Yes. Well, I've made my views clear on that in a previous episode.
What's he supposed to be? Is he supposed to be like a woodsman, or is he supposed to be like, I watch you at the grocery store. I watch you.
No,
I watch you at home.
He has his face painted green and wears fatigues. So there's no way that he's stalking people at a grocery store.
He's like, by the way, your new kitchen your new couch looks great from the yard.
That's more like it. Yeah, that's sort of stalker.
He's in the bushes just like.
Yeah. That's it.
Gotta watch out. He's the stalker. I used to work at a grocery store when I was younger, and we had this guy who we used to work with, Amos. Rest in peace. He died a few years ago, and he was a stalker there. Well, he was the manager there, but he started out as a stalker, and we used to go, "He's the silent stalker." Which every time I hear the stalker, it makes me think of that. So, what did you think about this hodgepodge tag team match?
I love the fact that this is Rocky Maivia's debut in the WWE or WWF, and the first thing he does is get beaten up by Jerry the King Lawler.
Well, I'm sure Flex Gavanna had been beat up by Jerry the King Lawler plenty of times in Memphis, you know.
Oh yeah, probably.
Probably, yeah. We got a big Burger King chant, which I thought was fun. This whole entire match was really just to where they could get it down to where it was Rock versus Rocky
Yeah.
versus a couple guys, because that was the whole point of this, was to
That
get
was
Rocky
it.
over.
Mhm.
And I mean, further the feud between Mark Merrow and Hunter, because I believe they were feuding over the Intercontinental Championship at this point.
Mhm.
The King goes out first when Jake. Go ahead, Glenn.
No, you go with that. So I've got something for the end.
Okay, so King goes out first when he gets DDT'd by Jake Robertson, pinned, then Goldust pins the Stalker after a curtain call. Merrow pins Hunter. Crush pins Merrow. And Jake goes down to Crush, and then so it's Goldust left with just the Rock. As the rest of the team. Goldust and Crush and Goldust.
You sort of no sold that Merrow gets pinned by a Crush. He actually dived into him, and Crush moved out the way, and he just went splat.
Yeah.
And Crush went, "Thank you very much. I'll pin you now." Then.
Yeah, that is exactly how it went down. Yeah, so it's Rocky Maivia versus Crush and Goldust. The rest of the guys are gone. Yeah, what'd you have to say about the end?
Well, both JR and Vince are telling everybody that would listen that Rocky Maivia is going to be the next best thing to sliced bread. So it was obvious that he was going to beat two men.
Right.
It was what it was. It put him over. It got the crowd hating him early on.
I mean, they didn't hate him tonight, and I don't think for the first about month or two people hated him, but after that, people did start. To hate him. They did not take long.
No, it didn't take long at all.
So definitely a hot debut.
But that's a good thing, because we would never have got The Rock without that hatred.
Right, right.
The irony of him being the people's champion and all the rest of it.
Sometimes you just have to make somebody a heel before they can be a babyface.
Exactly,
maybe you'll make him a heel champion who reigns for 3 years, and then he'll go away, and then he'll come back, and people will start chanting his name like Roman Reigns.
Yes.
Maybe that'll work. Yeah, that's a good one.
But all in all, I wouldn't recommend anybody going back to watch this match.
No, there is a couple of matches from this show that I recommend that you go watch. And one is the one that we already talked about, the Sid match. And the other one is the one that actually, Glenn, let's just go ahead and get the last match out of the way. We'll talk about that one. And we'll talk about this match, which was the best match on the show last.
Yeah.
I don't want to close it out with a bad taste in my mouth of this last 8-man tag.
No.
But we did get, Glenn, however, the debut of the Nation of Domination.
Yes, we did.
Did you do you remember any lyrics from the Nation of Domination rap?
I don't.
I bet DC Matthew knows them all.
Yeah, he probably does.
Something about you count the stars while the ref counts 3. Hope you like to look at ceilings because that's all you're going to see. Something like that.
It was strange that they're debuting the Nation, and yet they put Farouk with Razor Ramon, Diesel, and Vader.
Yeah, I want everybody to know out there, when Glenn says Razor Ramon and Diesel, this ain't Razor Ramon and Diesel. This is Dollar Store Razor and Diesel.
These are the light versions.
It's Kane, and I believe his name was Rick Titan. I think
that's right.
Wrestled by a Canadian man. And then, of course, Glenn, not only did we get the debut of Rocky Maivia this evening, and the Nation of Domination, we also got the debut of Flash Funk, one of the Funk cousins. I'm just kidding. He's not a Funk cousin. And I know that Glenn is a big fan of Flash Funk.
Now, he's all right. He's a good wrestler, but I wouldn't call myself a fan. I used to like his entrance when he had the Funkadelic tools with him. But...
Oh, Flash, you are so funky.
Yeah.
That was good. Part when he comes out is Jim Cornette losing his mind on commentary. Well, what is this? What is going on here? As if he'd never seen such a thing. Because he hadn't. Yeah. I don't know. Do you have any notes? Oh, and I forgot. They have a mystery partner, Glenn. Do you want to tell them who the mystery partner was for Savio Vega, Yokozuna, and Flash Funk?
Stevie Richards.
Steve, no, it wasn't Stevie Richards. I'll give you a hint, Glenn. He's a murderer.
Jimmy Snooker.
You got it. I wish it would have been Steven Richards.
Yeah.
That would have been great. So yeah, this was a quicker of the 4-on-4 matches. The other ones went like 20 plus minutes. This one only got like 9. Most impressive thing was like the first 2 minutes of Flash Funk doing shit to Vader, like the moonsault off the top rope to the outside. But that's really it. Also on commentary, this made me laugh, is that JR and Jim Cornette were arguing, and Jim Cornette's like, you couldn't manage a Wendy's, and JR said, I could manage it one if you lived in the town. Which I thought was really fucking funny.
And to end a crappy match, everybody gets disqualified because Fake Diesel grabs the chair.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how that works. Because they always sell any multi-man matches, the usual rules don't apply.
Yeah.
Like count outs or anything like that. Normally anything goes in a multi-man match.
Well, in a Survivor Series match, though, you can be ruled out by disqualification. So technically, Diesel should have then just been disqualified for use of the chair.
Yeah, I suppose.
But then Savio ran in from the back, who had just been eliminated by Farouk, I think.
Yeah.
And he had a chair, so maybe that's why. I mean, you know what? The thing was,
Yeah.
like, we have to get 20 minutes for Shawn Michaels, because if we don't, he's going to throw a hissy fit. Everybody get out of the ring!
Basically, they were saying, at 9 minutes 50, you've wasted 9 minutes 50 of everybody's time. Get the fuck out of the ring.
Flash Funk has danced already. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I felt just really bad, and I felt really sad to see Yokozuna, to be honest with you, because he just
he did. He shelved, didn't he?
It was just not good. I just really felt bad seeing him, because I mean, when he first came in, he was still so light on his feet, and the way he could move, it was just so sad to see him in the state that he was in 1996. But yeah, another throwaway. There was mostly all throwaway matches besides the main event, and then this match, which was Stone Cold Steve Austin facing the returning Bret the Hitman Hart, who we had not seen since WrestleMania 12. Austin does a promo before the. Go ahead.
It must have pissed Bret Hart off because Austin got such a pop. The MSG crowd went absolutely potty for him.
They did, and Bret was talking up in his promo about how like this is like his home turf in Madison Square Garden. I liked in Stone Cold's promos. Pettingill's building up Bret Hart, and cliches are cliches, and an ass whipping is an ass whipping, and that's exactly what you're gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this match is amazing.
It is. It is. There's too much in it to actually have made that detailed notes.
I said the exact same thing, Glenn, and I literally only picked out three of my favorite things from the match to talk about. Yeah, because it's one of those matches where we could talk. We could have a whole 1 hour podcast just about this match if we want.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I'm not sure if it's the first time, but the Spanish announce table taking a bit of a beating was a highlight of it for me. When Nosty chucks Bret into the Spanish announce table.
When he slingshotted him?
Yes.
Yeah. That was in mine too. I used to, yeah, I was fucking, 1996, I would have been 12 years old. And so I had this Ninja Turtle that I used to wrestle with.
Mhm.
And whenever nobody was home, one of my favorite things to do after watching this match was to take the Ninja Turtle by his two legs and then slingshot him over the kitchen table as if I was slingshotting him over
Yeah, the Spanish announcers.
dispensing out table, yeah, and then climbing over and pummeling his face as he was lying on top of Hugo Savinovich, which is actually what happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was one of my favorite parts too. That was fucking amazing. And then he gets up on the apron too and does like an elbow smash to Brett while Brett's laid across the table. And while I think they had done more table spots at this point, but that is one of the very first ones, and it's one of the ones that always sticks in my mind when I think of table spots too. So yeah, that was great.
Yeah. A sub bit of blurring out of Steve Austin doing the double bird for the first time.
Oh, they did, yeah.
It's amazing how, as things went on into the Attitude Era, how they stopped blurring it out.
Yeah, because when we watch in '97, pretty sure when he flips people off, he ain't blurring it out.
No, by then they had given up on that.
Yeah, pretty damn sure. I mean, the storytelling of this match was really good. It really had it was like a book. It had a beginning, it had a middle, and it had an end. You really couldn't tell if you didn't know watching it live. You probably wouldn't have been able to tell which way it was going to go by the way they paced it.
Nope.
I mean, Bret Hart matches are always amazing, but this one's like on another level. And like I said to you, when you watch this, Austin moves and wrestles in a different way than he does when he's at his peak. Like he relied more on brawling and like no DQ matches and stuff like that. But imagine what he could have done if he would have been able to wrestle like he.
Oh yeah.
Then man, he could have been even bigger than he was.
And knowing what was coming up, when Bret Hart tombstoned him, I winced.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
But as we know, that wasn't the one that did the damage. Thankfully.
No. Different Hart, different time. What else did you put down from this?
Just it was a surprise ending. Because Austin is so over. But you can see why they did it. Having Bret win it, that's what sort of triggered Austin into being the monster that he was going into 97.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of the way it had to be with as hot as Austin was.
Yeah.
Because while Bret did beat him clean, it more looks like Bret got lucky.
It did, yes.
Because he's going to lock him in the $1 Million Dream. And at this point, Austin had been beating Bret down for 3 or 4 minutes with a lot of heavy moves. And he'd been using the $1 Million Dream. He looks like he's going to set it, hook it. He does hook it, but then Bret Hart's able to kick his feet off the top turnbuckle. They roll backwards. Bret gets the pin.
Mm-hmm.
I loved Austin's leaving the ring in the
that was a good escape from the $1 Million Tree, climbing the ropes and flipping over backwards.
Yeah. It's a bit like their finish to the Bret Hart Roddy Piper match from WrestleMania 8. A bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. So yeah, that's how it ends. If I had to make a list of my top 10 favorite matches, this is probably going somewhere between 10 and 5, I think.
Oh yeah. They on that Scott's Blog of Doom, they give it 4 3/4 stars. And I thought that's a 3/4 too low.
That's a 5-star match for my money all day, man.
Yeah, and me.
Yeah. I know most people wouldn't say this, but if you had me pick between that match or the WrestleMania 13 match, if I was only allowed to watch one of those matches for the rest of my life, I'm picking this one every time.
That one, definitely.
I love the WrestleMania 13 match, but this one's better.
Yeah, it is.
I guess it's because this is an actual wrestling match as opposed to that's like a street fight.
That was a fight. Yeah, it was just a fight.
Yeah. I'm not taking anything away. Both those matches are 5-star matches.
Oh yeah.
I just like this one better. Yeah, so that's it.
That's
That
it.
is
Yeah,
the review.
we've done the review of the main event first, so we've ended on a high.
Yeah, I didn't want to. I definitely was not going to end on a double DQ.
No,
I was not going to do that. Absolutely not. So yeah, that's it for our 1996. I almost said Royal Rumble. Our 1996 Survivor Series review. You can check out our 1998 Royal Rumble review, which is out right now, on
Yeah.
the good and the bad and the ugly. We even watched a mini match with our third member of our podcast team, the Mayor of Kansas. So make sure you give that a check out. I only did that plug right there because I said 1998 Royal Rumble already. So Glenn, do you want to do your plugs before we get out of here?
no.
No plugs this week. We do
No,
them on
no.
every other show.
Yeah, we do them on every other show. We never do them on the Sid Show.
That is true. That is true. So that's
Oh,
it. That's all. We hope you enjoyed our 1996 Raw pay-per-view review. Be on the lookout. Glenn's going to let me know in the coming weeks what we're going to be reviewing in September. What does he have up his sleeve next?
me arms.
Your arms, yes. He's armbar. That's why. All right. That means the only thing left to do is for Glenn to say goodbye.
Goodbye.